You let me ask you something. If I gave you $1 million today, but told you that in 24 hours your mind would be gone, you couldn't think, couldn't drain, couldn't focus, would you still take the money? Of course not, because deep down you know your mind is worth more than any amount of cash. Your mindset is the real currency. And if you learn how to spend it right, it will pay you for the rest of your life. Your mindset is your real currency. Long before money ever enters your hands, it is the way you think that determines how far you will go in life. Too many people believe that their paycheck defines their worth or that their bank account sets their limit. But the truth is, your mind is the account that controls every other account. If you walk around with a poor mindset, constantly telling yourself you can't, you're broke before you even touch a dollar. But if you carry a wealthy mindset, if you train yourself to see possibilities, to see growth, to see abundance, you've already made your first deposit towards success. When you wake up every morning, your mind is making transactions. You can either invest in belief, focused in vision, or you can waste it on fear, doubt, and excuses. Your job may pay you wages, but your mindset pays you destiny. That's why people who lose everything financially can rebuild again, because their true wealth wasn't in the money. It was in the mindset that created. And that's also why others can win the lottery and lose it all within years, because the money was bigger than thinking. A strong mindset creates habits. Habits create actions, and actions produce results. If your mind is focused on growth, every situation becomes an opportunity. If your mind is stuck in scarcity, every challenge becomes a wall you can't climb. You carry the most valuable asset within you. But the question is, are you treating it like currency, or are you wasting it like loose change in your pocket? The thoughts you spend today will either leave you back up tomorrow or build you a fortune that no one can ever take away. Why your thinking shapes your life in ways most people never realize. The world you live in right now is a reflection of the thoughts you've been carrying for years. If you constantly think small, you'll make small decisions. And those decisions will lead to a small life. If you convince yourself that success is out of reach, that opportunities are for other people, then you'll never even try to chase what belongs to you. But when you train your mind to think big, when you teach yourself to see beyond your current situation, you start moving differently, you start talking differently, and eventually you start living differently. The way you think controls your actions. If you wake up each day expecting failure, your energy, your effort, and your attitude will align with that expectation. But if you wake up thinking rich, thinking successful, thinking abundant, your body will follow your mind's lead. People who accomplish great things are not necessarily smarter, stronger, or more talented. They just refuse to think like average people. They see possibility where others see limits. They see lessons where others see problems. The reason your thinking is so powerful is because it attracts what matches it. If you're focused on negativity, you'll notice more negative things around you. If you're focused on growth, your eyes will open opportunities that were invisible before. Life is not about what happens to you. It's about what you see in what happens. That's why two people can go through the same storm, and one will collapse while the other will rise. It all comes down to mindset. What you think is planting seeds in your future. And those seeds grow into the reality you live in. Money doesn't change you. It exposes you. Too often people believe that once they have money, everything in their life will improve. But the truth is, money only makes visible what was already inside of you. If you are disciplined, focused, and intentional before money arrives, those same qualities will multiply once it's in your hands. But if you are careless, impulsive, and unfocused, money will only amplify that behavior and leave you in a worse position than where you started. This is why you see people who win the lottery or come into sudden wealth lose it all within a few years. Their mindset could not sustain the blessing. Your character is the foundation, and money is simply a tool that sits on top of that foundation. Without discipline and vision, the tool gets misses. People think money buys freedom, but true freedom comes from self-control and clarity. If you can't manage a little, you won't manage a lot. If you can't budget $10, you won't handle 10,000. And if you can't resist unnecessary spending with a small paycheck, you will drown in debt when the paycheck grows. Money only shines a light on the habits you already live by daily. That's why the focus must always be on building the right mindset first. When your mind is rooted in discipline, gratitude, and growth, Money becomes a servant instead of a master. It starts working for you instead of controlling you. Wealthy people are not wealthy simply because of their bank accounts. They are wealthy because their thinking guides every financial choice they make. When money enters the life of someone who is prepared, it multiplies. When it enters the life of someone who isn't, it destroys. A wealthy mindset acts opportunities, growth, and discipline. The way you think acts like a magnet, pulling into your life the very things you focus on the most. When your thoughts are centered on abundance, you begin to notice doors that were always there, but invisible to the average eye. A person with a rich mindset looks at challenges and sees possibilities. They don't say, I can't. They say, how can I? That small shift in thinking creates momentum that draws opportunities closer. Success is not only about being in the right place at the right time, it's about having the right mindset so that when the moment arrives, you recognize it and step into it with confidence. Growth also flows naturally from a wealthy mindset. When you believe in learning, in stretching yourself, in becoming more than you were yesterday, you never stay stuck in the same place. Instead of running from hard work, you embrace it because you know growth is on the other side of discomfort. A wealthy thinker invests in knowledge, skills, and relationships that elevate their life. They don't chase instant results. They chase progress because they understand every step forward is building long-term success. Discipline becomes easier when your mind is locked on wealth thinking. Instead of forcing yourself to do the right thing, your vision pulls you toward it. You start waking up earlier, cutting out distractions, and staying consistent because your mindset won't let you settle for average. What looks like sacrifice to others feels like strategy to you. Your discipline is not a burden. It's the evidence of your focus. The wealth in your mind doesn't just attract money. It attracts the structure and habits that allow you to hold on to it and multiply it. You have to invest in your thoughts the same way you would invest in your bank account. Every single thing you put into your mind is either building interest or draining value. If you spend your days feeding your mind with negativity, gossip, and fear, and then you are making withdrawals that will leave you bankrupt when it's time to perform. But if you consistently pour into your mind with books, wisdom, and positive influences, you are making deposits that will keep paying you back for the rest of your life. The richest people in the world are not just rich because of money. They are rich because they treat their thoughts like an asset. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant inside it will eventually grow, whether it's weeds of doubt or seeds of confidence. That's why being intentional about what you expose yourself to matters so much. The music you listen to, the conversations you entertain, the shows you watch, the people you follow, these are all investments and they all have a return. You can't expect to grow a wealthy mindset if you're constantly feeding yourself with poverty-level thinking. What goes in eventually comes out, and it will show up in the way you speak, the way you act, and the way you live. Investing in your thoughts also means surrounding yourself with people who elevate you instead of drain you. If your circle is full of negativity, laziness, and excuses, then you are making bad investments. But if your circle pushes you, challenges you, and inspires you, then you are compounding your growth. Every day you have the choice to treat your thoughts like currency. You can waste them on distractions, or you can invest them into building the life you dream about. Protecting your mindset is just as important as protecting your wallet, maybe even more. You would never leave your wallet open on the street or hand it over to someone you don't trust. Yet many people do that with their mind every single day. They let negative voices, toxic environments, and destructive influences walk right in and steal their focus, their confidence, and their drive. If your mind is your greatest currency, then you have to guard it like treasure. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, and not every situation deserves space in your head. Protecting your mindset means being intentional about what you allow in. That might mean turning off the television when it's filled with drama, muting people on social media who drain your energy, or distancing yourself from friends who never bring positivity into your life. It might mean choosing silence over noise or motivation over distraction. Just like a lock on your front door keeps intruders out, boundaries on your mind keep the wrong influences from robbing you of your potential. Another part of protecting your mindset is learning how to redirect negative thoughts before they take root. Fear, insecurity will always try to sneak in. but you can train yourself to replace them with affirmations, gratitude, and vision. You don't have to accept every thought that enters your head. You can choose which ones stay. Think of it like a bank account. You wouldn't accept counterfeit bills, so don't accept counterfeit thoughts. When you build habits that protect your mindset, you create an environment where growth, discipline, and success can thrive. The stronger your guard, the harder it is for distractions, negativity, and failure to steal your focus and leave you empty. At the end of the day, your greatest wealth isn't in your pocket. It's in your mind. Protect it, invest in it, and spend it wisely, because the way you think will decide the way you live. Think rich, love rich.